Welcome back to the Charged Up Show. In this episode, we interviewed Jet Greaves, the goalie for the Barrie Colts OHL team, and it was really cool to hear his perspective from the net. This episode was brought to you by 519 Sports Online. 519 is a positive promotional platform which brings you highlights and interviews from your favorite teams across the region. Make sure to check out their social media channels on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And be sure to like and subscribe to 519's YouTube channel at youtube.com/519sportsonline.
Please welcome our second goalie ever on the podcast, starting goaltender for the Barrie Colts, Jet Greaves.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for coming on. Before we get going, this is a 509 video. I guess we didn't really tell you this before, but 509 speed round. Not sure if you're familiar with it. But you just have to answer everything as quick as you can. Nate and Keith are going to rapid fire your questions.
All right. Let's do it.
Do you want me to start it off?
Yeah, you kick it off. Kick it off.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Favorite place you've been to?
Bahamas.
Favorite sport besides hockey?
Golf.
All right.
What's your favorite color of Gatorade?
Yellow.
Yellow. Whoa.
That's a unique one.
Favorite club to use in golf?
9 iron.
9 iron. Go-to cheat meal.
Oreos.
Favorite movie?
The Outsiders.
Okay.
Who's your
English
go-to artist right now?
Right now, probably Lil Baby.
All right. Crosby or McDavid?
McDavid.
Favorite TV show right now?
Peaky Blinders.
Bauer or CCM?
CCM.
Who would play you in a movie?
Maybe a young Will Smith.
Young Will Smith.
We get a lot of those. All right. Which move will you bust out if you're in a dance circle? It's a tough one.
I don't know. I think my buddy invented a move, Darcy Winkler. Quick shout out to him. He created a move called the swing.
All right.
I played against them.
Fun.
Well, if we ever do a golf video, you're gonna have to show us that dance move.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
Simpsons or Family Guy?
Family Guy.
And final question: favorite team you've played?
Played against?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, played against.
Probably London Knights.
The Knights. Yeah.
So before we hop in, that just made me think about it. Well, first of all, who spelled Bauer on this thing?
That was me. Yeah.
Do you know you don't spell Bauer Bower?
I was just doing it quick. I was just trying to get the questions in. I'm exposed.
Back to Jet McDavid Crosby. Instantly got me thinking. Before we talk about your hockey career, talk about the moment that biggest flex on Instagram. Probably we have McDavid coming on a penalty shot breakaway on you.
Yeah.
Tell us how that happened.
So that was my going into my 16-year-old year. So after I was drafted to Barrie, they have a charity game they do every year. It's called Hockey Night in Simcoe. So they had a bunch of pro guys that played for Barrie and then that played in the area, grew up in the area, and they had some Colts players, Colts prospects out, and then they just do like a little shootout in the middle of it. So I just happened to be in that with McDavid coming down. So fortunately, I stopped him. So
Made sure you got the pick.
Yeah,
You stopped him.
yeah, I did.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a flex. That's
That's how the confidence got up, eh?
I think so. That definitely helped.
So we'll go right into minor hockey now, and I'm assuming this is gonna be a shorter one, but you guys had a very good team, and obviously, and I was just checking out the prospects. Some players moved on to the OHL, some QMJHL player, I think. And what was your minor hockey experience like in Cambridge?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I played for Cambridge all the way up. Made a lot of good friendships. A lot of my best friends now I played with through minor hockey. We had a lot of really talented players in our team, and pretty much every year we were a good team. So it was always fun. I mean, as you guys know, winning is always fun, and I learned a lot about the game. Just made a lot of good friendships there.
That's
Now,
awesome.
almost every year you're in the playoffs with London. Was there a rivalry there?
Yeah, for sure. We lost. They won actually every year of AAA. They won our league, and we played them a lot of years. Usually us, them, and Waterloo were kind of the top 3 teams, so we definitely had a rivalry. And then a few of the guys like I got to know after I played with them at OHL Gold Cup, and then in the OHL I played with Ryan Suzuki and Peter Fleming. I played against them both growing up, so they didn't forget to let me know about all the wins they had.
Now, who was on that Waterloo team that you guys playing?
They had Nathan Allenson, who I play with in Barrie, and then Keen Washcock, he plays in Mississauga. Gavin Wood, they had minor midget. He's playing in the CCHL. Jake Code plays he's playing the CCHL.
Yeah, well,
those were some of them.
I'd been on. Shout out to Keen for coming on a while ago, a couple episodes ago. But that was our next question is Suzuki. You ended up playing with him, but what was it like playing against him in minor hockey?
Yeah, he was a real good player in minor hockey. I remember when they first came into our league, so like the first 2 years or the first year maybe of rep, like before it's AAA, they weren't in our league. And they came in, London came in Adam, I think, minor Adam. And I just remember they were so good. Like guys in our team, like we could barely raise the puck, and these guys, like they had all these systems, like they're doing unreal plays. Like their team was really good, and Zooks obviously was always one of their best players, super skilled player, sees the ice really well, and obviously I got to play with him and get to know him a lot more once we played together in Barrie.
Cool. So kind of like next question, run us through like what was the draft like being a goalie? Like kind of run us through the experience in that, and like just how was it, like how was your mindset with it, and just kind of pick your brain with it.
Yeah, so I mean obviously going to minor midget, it's a big year. It's just another step along the way in your hockey journey. And then I had a pretty good year in minor midget, talked to a lot of teams throughout the season, and then after the season a lot of interviews and in-person meetings just leading up to the draft. And I think there were a few teams that kind of stuck out that I knew that had a little bit more interest than others, and I figured those might be some of the teams that would be most interested on draft day, and Barrie was one of them. But I didn't know what was going to happen, and then I wasn't really watching the draft. Actually, I was just watching golf or something. I think the Masters were on then, so I was watching golf. Then one of my buddies, I think Cole Schwint, texted me just saying like congrats, and I didn't even know what he was saying it for. I hadn't seen anything, and then after that, my phone just started blowing up, and then I saw obviously that Barrie had picked me, and then they called me and we talked, and then that's kind of just how that went.
So he ruined it for you.
Well, I don't know if he ruined it, but yeah, I guess he was the first one to break the news.
You always gotta wait a little bit in case they haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's all right.
But kind of tagging on to Nate's question is, what was the uniqueness about being a goalie? Because like just for my own, there's some really good goalies who don't get drafted, or there's some goalies that you wouldn't expect to get drafted that do. Not saying you were one of them. Obviously, you were super high, but especially once you get into later rounds, what was the uniqueness as being a goalie?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really, I guess, something I thought about too much, but it's just kind of weird because you don't know. Like, obviously, I'd never been through it before. You don't know what's going to happen. It's not like when you're a player. There's so many players that are picked, and like the goalies there aren't as many, 20, 30 maybe throughout the whole draft. So you really don't know what's going to happen. There's so many goalies all over Ontario, so just a little bit more uncertainty, I guess. But obviously, it worked out pretty well.
And then
sorry, just a quick question, just 2 cents on that. Would you say it's like being a goalie in the league, like being it more like competitive rather than a player, like to get drafted? Like, would you say it's kind of harder to climb the ranks because there's just one position, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all the way up, it's always tough being a goalie. I mean, there's only one goalie that can be in the net at a time, and there's so many good goalies, especially once you get to the OHL. There's goalies from all over Ontario, all in the areas of the U.S. that play in the OHL, and then Europeans as well. So there's always going to be competition, but I think if you're a goalie, you just have to accept that and know that that's going to be there, and that's just part of the position.
Now, in your 16 year for Guelph Junior B, did that whole experience, did you get a lot of value out of that playing? You played a lot there. You had a lot of minutes and a high level. Were you able to gain a lot of experience that would help you later on in the OHL?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love my time there. We had great coaches, Adam Wallace, Bill Wallace was GM there, they were awesome to me. Jeff Freed as well. He's our assistant coach. They gave me great opportunities when I was there. I definitely experienced a lot just kind of coming out of minor hockey. Like, I think for a lot of guys, minor hockey is kind of, I don't want to say easy, but like just easy in the sense that you're playing against guys your own age. So it's kind of a fair playing field, even playing field that way. But I mean, once you get to junior, you're playing against older players. You just have to be a lot sharper. I think that was something I had to learn. It wasn't just going to be easy every single night. Like you had to work every night. You have to work for wins. So that was good for me just to kind of experience that through my first year junior and take that to the OHL.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also really cool to hear like a lot of the people we've interviewed who've gone pro, all started in junior B. So
Yeah.
it's definitely, I think Matt's going into his junior B year now too, and it's a good level, I think, for everyone to gain that experience.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great league. A lot of great players, especially in this area, come out of there. I think it's good just to get a taste of junior hockey, what it's like. It's tough to make the OHL, especially as a 16-year-old. So it's good to kind of get a taste of junior hockey, and you're just that much more ready for it once you get there.
And what was the Guelph experience like? They're not even a team anymore. Obviously, you're kind of in the shadow of the OHL team.
Yeah.
What was that atmosphere like?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about it was we played at the Sleeman Center, but we didn't have too many fans. I think a couple hundred fans a game maybe. So you learn how to play in an empty building. So that was definitely a different experience. But otherwise, it was good. Nice city to play in. Nice drink. Good. We had good staff, good teammates. So otherwise, it was all good.
I think this is a cool perspective for everyone to see too. But what was the jump as a goalie going straight into the OHL afterwards from junior B?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I struggled with at first once I went to the OHL is I just didn't play as much as I was used to. All through minor hockey, and then in my first year of junior B, I was always a starter. I always played a lot of games. And then when I went to the OHL, I think in the first half of the season of my first year, I think I only played 5 games. And then I went on a stretch, I think, to start the year. After preseason, I didn't play a game for over a month. So that was just something that I had to learn how to adjust to. I think just kind of as you mature, you learn how to handle things like that. So I think that was probably the biggest thing, just not playing as much as I was used to.
Did you notice a lot of speed, like a difference in speed and how the game's played going from junior B to the OHL?
Yeah, yes and no, I guess. I think I've always skated with guys that were in the OHL and in pro like before that, so I kind of knew what to expect. But once you get there, once you're actually in the game, it definitely feels fast. Like right away, you're just kind of trying to adjust and adapt as quick as you can.
Now, take us through when you did start to play all those games, and you ended up with 27 on the year.
Yeah.
You had a really good stretch for a while. Take us through what happened there.
So to start the year, we had 3 goalies. We had myself, Kai Edmonds, who's now in Mississauga, and then Maxim Zhukov. He's a Russian goalie. He was drafted by Vegas. So at the start of the year, those two were playing most of the games. Like I was a scratch a lot of games. And then at the start of the second half, right after we came back from Christmas, Zhukov left and went back to the USHL, Green Bay, I think, which is where he was before. So then there was just more of an opportunity for me and Kai both to play a lot more. And it was just kind of whoever was playing well would just keep playing. So fortunately, I started to get more comfortable in the league and then also just play more minutes and just start playing better and better. So that was definitely good for my confidence that second half.
Cool. So we always ask this question to the people that we have in the O, but what was kind of like your welcome to the OHL moment? Like any good highlights or like memorable moments?
So a funny moment. So going into my first regular season start, I knew kind of the week before, like the start of that week, I guess, that I was going to be playing. And like guys in my team knew as well that I was going to play. It was like first start, big moment. So Jason Wilms, who I knew before I went to Barrie, he was on me the whole week saying, because we were playing Mississauga and they had a lot of good players. They had Owen Tippett, Ryan McLeod, and a lot of other good players. So he was saying the whole week, he's like, hey, make sure you have a good start, like a couple quick goals and you could be right back to junior B. Like you got to be ready. And like, I didn't really think much of it. And then once we got out there, like it was just kind of like it hit me like I'm here. And then next thing you know, first 2 shots go in, or 2 of the first 3 shots, I guess, of my OHL career. And I was just in my head, I was like, oh no, like he's right. Like I'm back to junior B. Like this is it. And then after that, I made a couple saves. Then I settled in. We ended up losing 2-1, so they didn't score after that. But those first couple of shifts were definitely an eye opener.
Obviously, I played since I was like 7 on and off with Kai. Your younger brother, 2 years younger, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
And so what was it like for you? Did you kind of assume he was going to get drafted to where you were just because you had a base there and they knew you and knew the family? Or did you know? And what was it like, obviously, then seeing him being drafted to Barrie?
No, I didn't know he was going to come to Barrie. They talked to me. I knew that they liked him throughout the year. Our GM and our assistant GM, they watched his team and they saw him a lot. And I knew that they were really high on him. And they asked me like a few times, like, what do you think of us drafting him? And I was like, I always said, like, you can draft him. You guys can draft him, of course. Like, it'd be good to play with him. But at the same time, I didn't want him to be drafted to Barrie just because, he's my brother. Like, because I knew he was a good player and he would have got drafted at some point anyways. So I just kind of wanted him to have his own experience. And then just when the draft day came, they ended up picking him, obviously. And when I talked to them about it after, they were just like, they thought they were so high on him and they couldn't let him slip past that point. So I think, it's just a cool thing for us to experience, and hopefully we'll get to play together in the future.
So what was your first camp together like?
It was fun. It was a new experience for sure, but it was kind of funny too because a lot of my teammates obviously knew him before just from him being around the rink and at games. So that was a fun experience. I don't think we ever got to play against each other in our camp games or scrimmages, but it was a good experience. It was fun.
Cool. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool brother duos in the NHL, or that have been in the NHL. So it's kind of like I could see both sides of how it could go, but it is a kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's obviously a special thing for our family if we do get to play together, and at the same time, you just want to make sure you guys both have your own experience. Just kind of experience things on your own.
Exactly. So what was it like being selected for the OHL first all rookie team?
I didn't even know that was a thing, honestly. I never thought about it really. I was just kind of playing, and then it's just one day last summer, one of my buddies in the team texted me just saying like, congrats. And I didn't even know what was going on there, but then obviously I saw it on Twitter. So it was a cool experience to be selected with a lot of other great players around. So that's just another nice step along the way.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then going off that first year run and first all rookie team, going to the Columbus Blue Jackets camp. What was your whole experience like? Obviously, free agent invite.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like finding out you're getting invited and then actually getting to go to the development camp?
So it kind of went. So I talked to Columbus was one of the teams I talked to before the draft. There are a few teams I talked to that just said like, if you go through the draft, we want you to come to our camp and just come experience that. So we ended up picking with my agent. We ended up choosing Columbus. We just felt that was a good fit for me to go to. And then that experience there was awesome. It was a really cool experience, just a pro camp and see what that's like. And obviously learn from their staff and just be around great players and also see the city too. I mean, I've never been to Columbus, so that's just another cool experience.
Now, as a goalie, what were you able to take away from that experience?
I think just how skilled the players are, just at the next level. Just it's another jump up. Players can hit corners better. There's more accurate, shoot harder, skate faster. So just how consistent and how disciplined you have to be.
Were you kind of in like a wow moment being at an NHL camp?
I don't know about through the camp. I think the one thing that was kind of that moment was we were so they had the ice out at the actual ice surface where they actually play. So we were just skating on one of their practice rinks, but we went out there just like looking around and just seeing how big it looks from ice level. Like that was my wow moment there, I guess.
Cool. Did you get to like explore the city at all, or was it just kind of you're there for hockey and just kind of spend a couple days there?
Yeah, no, we had some downtime. We would usually be done around 3 or 4 every day, so we could walk around the city, go to some restaurants. I think one day actually we went the whole camp. We went to a zoo there, a zoo and a water park. So
Okay.
that was fun.
Now, is that something you're doing on your own? Like, this is obviously for us who don't know it, right? We're younger,
Yeah.
and some people play hockey, some people don't. But is that your first NHL camp? You're only 18. Is that something your parents are along with you, or are you completely
No,
on?
so my parents were here. I flew out there. I just flew out there by myself, and then I was just there in a hotel. They give you a roommate when you're there.
Yep.
So I was just there with a roommate the whole time, and then I flew back by myself. There were a couple guys from Ontario that I ended up flying with, but yeah, it's
Nope.
all just all on your own.
Yep.
Was that your first experience like on your own as well?
So I think a month before that, I went to Team Canada goalie camp. So that was in BC,
Oh, okay.
I think BC, Alberta. Alberta, yeah, it was in Calgary. My bad. So we went to Calgary for Team Canada camp, and that was on my own too. So that was kind of my first time learning how to fly. I didn't know a lot of the stuff to do, like getting through the airport. So I had to figure that out.
And so heading into your sophomore season, obviously COVID stopped it, but how do you feel it went, and like what's the right word? Look back on the season. What are you taking from the season?
Yeah, it was up and down year for myself personally and for our team as well. I mean, it's a tough league. There's so many good players and good teams, so it's not all just going to be easy. We had a lot of injuries throughout the year and just some different types of adversity like that we kind of had to go through. But it's good to experience. We had a young team. It's good to experience things like that. Just moving forward in your career just makes you better. And then we were really starting to click right before the season ended. So hopefully we can continue that next year.
That's the worst. Just at the end too, eh?
Yeah, it's tough timing.
But kind of one of our last questions. But what are you looking forward to next season, and what are you thinking you have to improve on, knowing what happened this year? And
Yeah, we've got a young core. We've got a lot of our core is going to be back for next season, so we're excited. We think we should have a really good team and be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. So I think that'll be fun, just to hopefully have a good team and hopefully win a lot of games. And I think just about just getting better at every aspect of your game, just every day, just getting a little bit better, just continuing to mature, and just hopefully if we do that, we should be in good shape next season.
perfect,
Absolutely.
amazing. Now,
Thank you so much for coming on. Does you have anything else, Keith? Sorry.
just
No.
kind of the last thing is, what's your long-term goal? Is it the NHL, or is it Europe, playing pro?
You sport.
Yeah, I think just like everyone, my long-term goal would be to try to play in the NHL and make a career out of that, and then we'll see what happens.
Awesome. Well, best of luck, and thanks for coming on again. It was great talking to you, and for sure we'll keep in touch. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.